Today we have Chef Michele Forgione joining us all the way from Quebec. How are you today?
I'm good. I think that staying at home as a chef is kind of odd since we're always like out, like entertaining our guests and cooking and talking every single day. And this pause is kind of odd, but I mean, it's not odd only for me, it's odd for everybody. But I mean, it's one of those things where we're going to get through. And like sometimes I'm eating my fingernails, how nervous I get. But I mean, aside from that, we're good. I mean, we own 4 restaurants, you know what I mean? So we're always on the go. If it's not one restaurant, it's going to be the others. So we like just go from one to one to one. And we love that because we when I say we, I mean my partner Stefano and I, which is on TLN as well. We love to entertain. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
So it's been tough, but I mean, we're all in the same boat. We're all in this together, and it's temporary. So we're going to be fine.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, that's what it is. We're going to be fine, and we're going to come out of it. And it's just that the restaurant business is going to be a little different for it. But aside from that, we're adapting. And 3 out of the 4 restaurants that we co-own, we're delivering. We're doing pickup, takeout, the whole thing. So it's working out. It's good. A lot of support. A lot of support. So we're very thankful.
That's good. That's important. And I mean, you are working, of course, on a show on TLN called Mangia Quebec. So I want to start off asking you, what is the food scene like in Quebec?
So the food scene in Quebec, I mean, Quebec within Canada is known for a lot of like abundance, quality. There's a lot of we work with farmers a lot, and we just showcase the very best, of what the seasons have to offer. So we're very lucky in that matter, but that's most of Canada as well. And that's the whole point of Mangia Quebec, which is nice to unveil with you, Camilla, because, Francis Mitchell from Riverbank Pictures, I got to know him when we met doing a show called Opening Canada, the franchise, with Rob Rossi and Craig Harding. And I got to know him many, many years ago. We did a show together, 2 shows together. And he said, you know what? This was last year. He goes, why don't we do a show together? And I was like, yeah, what are you thinking about? He goes, well, you're so relatable, and you love Italian cuisine. Obviously, that's what I'm known for. And he was like, what do you think? So we spoke back and forth, and the conclusion was this show, which is going to be called Mangia Quebec. So basically, it's myself, the host, going to various farms owned by Italians that came from Italy from, whether it be the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and so on, and that have settled in Quebec and have brought, their culture, their cuisine. And why specifically did they settle in Quebec and make buffalo mozzarella? Why Quebec? Well, it's something that they knew how to make there, and they brought it here. So now it becomes that transition of being Italian, Canadian, Quebecois, and showcasing all of us, all of the Quebecers and Canadians, what they do best. And so that's what the show is just letting them talk, giving them a stage and some recognition, because they work extremely hard. So that's really cool.
I think it's exciting because a lot of people, they don't expect Quebec to be a hot spot for, Italian food or Italian fresh ingredients. I think it's something that, the restaurant scene is there, but I didn't expect so many Italian farmers to be in Quebec and sending out their products.
Yeah, so we have, I mean, if it's not for Ontario, the second is going to be Quebec for sure. We have the most, some of the most, the biggest Italian population in Quebec. If it's not Ontario, I think it's Quebec, but it's going to be one of those. We are very close to our roots, to our heritage. We started these restaurants, Impasto, Gemma, Vesta, and the one that's not very Italian. It's a snack bar. It's called Cetuznia, with my partner Stefano. Stefano Faita's got a show on TLN. He's got In the Kitchen on TLN, so he's been on TV for a long time. He's my partner, and we also have a line of tomato sauces and pizzas and stuff like that that we showcase across Canada. So that's the Italian brand. We have an Italian retail company as well. So that stems from our grandparents, from our parents that settled here, and they've showed us, like the love for Italian cuisine, and we've just transmitted that love and did a simple transition. Whatever they taught us, we put it into retail and restaurants. So, and like a lot of support through the community, but not only from Italians, from everybody. So we're very fortunate when it comes down to that. But the whole show is really showcasing those farms, those restaurants, those producers, and the love and the passion that they have for what they do, just like I do, which is
And
key.
now more than ever, I think it's so important to support local, to support those local farmers, those local restaurants, because of
Right.
what's happening around the world.
Now more than ever, Camilla. I mean, you're right. The thing is that we got to become self-sufficient. We don't have to rely on people. And by doing that, what I mean by that is like we have the farmers, we have the land, we have the knowledge, we have the talent. So let's just, local more than ever. Everybody's like saying like, well, the money's going to stay here. I'm not saying like, well, don't buy anything from the United States of America. No, what I'm saying is that if all the businesses are here and the knowledge and all of that talent is here, well, why wouldn't you want to buy it through your backyard, like, and support that family that honestly really needs us right now, that they really, really, truly need us, and we're all supportive, and we're very lucky to be living in Canada. Absolutely very lucky. So
100%,
yeah,
100%.
yeah,
Now, in the future, I'm curious, you said you own 4 restaurants.
yeah.
Obviously, the hospitality industry is evolving so much during this pandemic. What do you think it's going to look like once things go back to that new normal?
Well, I mean, exactly like you said it extremely well. There is going to be a new normal, and we just don't know how to attack it yet. We don't know how to like look at things yet, just because, within that, social distancing that everybody talks about, which is key, which is very important, and with the hospitality business being like so warm and giving, and the interaction between, like a server coming up to you, like, what would you like today, and stuff like that, and so is that going to end? I don't know. It's going to take time for sure. It's going to take time, but like what Stefano and I, what we're talking about is the business model within, like the Gemma, the Vesta, the snack bar that we have chez Toussaint. That's very easy to do delivery. Now, Impasto, the first one that we opened in 2013, is more of a fine dining. So you can't deliver those beautiful, like dainty little pastas and, like the nice piece of meat, and, like it doesn't travel well. So that's going to be an issue on how do we take that business model, the fine dining business model, because a lot of people that do have like the fast casuals, they're doing well. They're surviving. I'm not saying they're doing their best, but they're staying afloat. They can pay their expenses, their utilities, their rents, and stuff like that. Some staff. But it's the fine dining that's gonna get hit the most. But we're not gonna be able to go back to normal until and again, Camilla, I'm not a medical professional, until we have a vaccine. And that's when people are gonna think to themselves, okay, like now we're cured, we're fine, there's a vaccine. But that, as you know, can take what, 12 to 18 months. So there's a lot of thinking on that end. Now, my partner and I, Stefano and I, we've diversified ourselves in such a way that we have the restaurant side, but we also have the retail side. So we have a line of, fresh Italian sausages. We have a line of the frozen pizzas, all natural, all the good stuff, tomato sauces, panettone, and stuff like that. So we've diversified ourselves in such a way that, we didn't put all of our eggs in one basket, and we had that fortune to take our brands, our name, and what we worked for so long, and transform it 3 years ago into a retail business that spans all of Canada. And so, yes, we have here, but we also have, like a revenue here. And, like with that in mind, we're able to survive, but we also have done a lot of good, meaning like, like we've donated a lot of sauces and pizzas and money to food banks and so on and so forth. So I feel very good about that, because it's very important to share and to help others in moments of crisis. But to get back to your answer to your question, the business model of a restaurant is going to be very tough. So a lot of people are going to stay away from opening up restaurants. And I think that it's going to be the scenery, the restaurant scene is going to be very different. It's going to change a lot. and that's just the way it's going to be for now, unfortunately.
And talk to us about the initiatives that you just mentioned. I mean, obviously right now lending a helping hand to those in need is so important. So I'd love to know more about what you both are doing.
Yeah, so you know, like when Stefano and I, when we sat down and said, okay, so we're in this boat, right? We're fortunate. We have the restaurants that are, you know, like they're doing delivery and stuff like that. And you know, like we had to put on temporary unemployment 45 employees. You know, we had to do that, and that was it was very, very tough to do that. It was extremely tough because within the years, these people they become your family. You know, like you see them every day, and so that hurt a lot. I won't lie to you, that hurt a lot. But at the same time, we know that we're strong enough. We have a strong foundation, and they're all going to come back. We know this. We're hard workers, and I believe that we're going to be in a good position. But then you have this retail company, and we all know that people are like stocking up, you know. And we said, okay, like we're in a good position in that matter. But now, being in a good position, being fortunate enough to have that, and working so hard to get to that point, was okay. Well, we just can't be like sitting around and doing nothing about it. So we decided to donate, thousands and thousands of pizzas to food banks, tomato sauces, money. We're currently donating a lot of our time for an organization called La Table des Chefs, which is in Quebec, where we're going to reopen in Pasto, the first one that's fine dining, the only one that's closed for now. Bring back the teams, our cooks, and we're going to be doing some dishes for food banks, for people that just don't have food. So we're going to be making close to 2,000 to 3,000 meals per week, and donate that time and that energy and that food to the people that are in need. And so it's a good incentive for the cooks to come back. And that's throughout Quebec. And Stefano happens to be the spokesperson for La Table des Chefs for this campaign this year. And I'm helping out as much as I can with like menus, food, and stuff like that. So I just can't sit home and do nothing about it. You know, like I just can't be doing that. So I think that by giving back, you feel better, and at the same time, you've done something with your time and your name, and people appreciate that tremendously. I wish that I can do more. Stefano wishes that we can do more, but we're trying our best every day to give, you know. So, because we have that position, you know, to do so.
That's incredible. No, look, that's the most important part. It's just looking around and seeing, okay, what blessings do I have, and how can I give these to the people around me that need it?
Exactly, you know, and you know, like, in coming back to the show, and I'm glad that I can unveil finally the show, because you know, I was talking to Francis. I was like, Francis, like, what are we gonna do? You know, like, we were so close. I was like, is it canceled? He goes, no, Michele, it's pushed back. The TLN family welcomes me with open arms, and you know, Tele Latino's been in my TV, my grandfather's TV, my parents' TV for so many years, and just to be included. And I've been watching you for a few years too, and just to be included. Serie A, soccer's gonna come back. We all know this.
It's gonna come back.
Football is gonna come back, and it will be. And I think that it was such an honor when I got asked to be on a host on the show, and to do so good, you know, like such a good deed. I call it a good deed because I'm giving the voice to the people that have worked for so many decades, and like I become like a bit of that poster child where I say, okay, like I've been given this role, and it is so extremely important for me because my parents were immigrants from Italy, obviously, as well, and I get to have the chance and the honor. It's very humbling for me to give these beautiful families that have worked day and night to put like food on the table, and showcase the love of food and business, and it's something that I share because, you know, like I can relate to their story as well. We can all relate, you know, like Italians, immigrants, and so on and so forth. So we just got to find a date to shoot.
I know.
and we hope that like you know, Francis and I, we spoke. We hope that it's going to be in September or October, and then it gets launched next year, and you get to see this face in your TV, and with some you know, like cooking, hosting, giving them a voice, talking about where they came from and stuff like that, and just giving back to them, and that's great. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. It's a humbling feeling. Yeah.
No, it's going to be an incredible story. I think it really is going to showcase a lot of important people that, again, right now we're realizing who truly is essential and who isn't. And I think it's going to be really important to highlight that.
Exactly. And again, very good. That's exactly it. And these are farmers, right? So they've become so essential that our prime minister here in Quebec says, well, guess what? They need you. The farmers need you. So if you're not working, maybe it will be a good chance to start to go picking strawberries. I know that it's backbreaking, but at least you're going to lend a hand on something that's extremely important, that they need us, and just working the fields. And it's kind of odd because like my grandfather, that's how he started in Italy. He was a farmer. He worked the fields for many, many years before coming here. And even when he did come here and he started in construction, he had like all of his backyard was a garden, right? I mean, all of his backyard was a garden. So that never like stopped and never ended, like that philosophy of growing it yourself, cooking it yourself. What grows together goes together. And that's going to be the showcase of my show. And now food, like food, medical professionals, janitors. All of those important people have become the heroes. Like they truly, truly have. We need them all. And I'm proud of my cooks because they go day in, day out. We practice like extreme hygiene, obviously, that we've always put it into place, but now like even more so. So, and I'm so proud of them because they're the ones that go every day. They go into work and feed so many people, and I'm very, very proud of them. So I think that they know what they're doing. They know that it's important, that it's not only like I'm cooking or I'm making a nice, beautiful pizza. It's truly like making a difference. Now we need them, so it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to be needed, and that's it.
Of course. Now, Michele, before we let you go, is there a message or something that you would want to share with all of our Canadian viewers on TLN that are going to start becoming more familiar with you very soon?
Yeah, like a bit about me. I mean, like I've always loved cooking. I've always cooked ever since I was 7 years old, and I've cooked in many, many great restaurants and hotels all over. I met my great partner Stefano. He's been on TV forever, for 17 years, and we just built like incredible businesses and stuff like that. And I think that the retail business is what makes me, it's what makes me very excited because I get to like do a lot of research and development. That's my role within the company, and I have a reach in the restaurant world, but that reach spans maybe like through a lot of like my good friends, like Rob Gentile, Afram Pristine from Cheese Boutique, like, and they know of me within the chef world. And I've also been in many other shows, and so people started to get to know me. But I think that the feeling that, and Stefano tells me this all the time, the feeling that we have is that we're feeding millions of Canadians with our products and our recipes, and that comes from our heritage. So I think that where I stand and where I want people to remember me when they're going to watch me on TLN is like, I come from a very middle class, hardworking Italian family with values, and I like to do good. I just want to give back with the knowledge and experience that I've been given through, whether it be my grandfather, my mother, my father, all all my family, and what I've learned in Italy, and just transmit all of that love back to everybody else. So whenever someone opens up like a jar of tomato sauce, they're not only eating like a jarred tomato sauce, because a lot of people like they say like, well, it's you're a chef, like you're putting sauce in a jar. Yeah, well, guess what? My grandmother during September would make 1,000 jars of tomato sauce. Stefano's mom, Elena Faita, the great Elena, would make 1,000 jars every September and put it in their cold room, their cantina. So what does that change really? Nothing. So it's so that's what it is. I'm not here to create. I'm here to preserve the Italian, like food. I'm here to preserve the culture, and I'm not trying to create either. I want to preserve what I was given, and making sure that it has its own legacy as we go. And that's very, very important for me. That's what I want people to know when they're gonna watch this beautiful face on TV. When I'm gonna be like picking my strawberries and going to the maple syrup farms, because there's an Italian farm that we had to go to, and they were like so bummed because I mean it was exactly now. We were showcasing the Sugar Shack right now, but I mean they have a lot of reserves, so we're gonna be showcasing all of that, and I think they're gonna need it. They're gonna need me. They're gonna need TLN because they need the people all across Canada to know that they're alive and well, their passions continues, and that they have a showcase so people can like go into their farms and learn who they are. You know, because right now like nobody talks about them, but they're working day and night feeding the people.